Good afternoon and welcome to the City of Helena City Commission Administrative Meeting, December 4th, 2024. The time is 4:03 p.m. This meeting is called to order. Madam Clerk.
City Attorney Doctor. Here. City Manager Burton.
Here.
Commissioner Dean. Here. Commissioner Logan.
Here.
Commissioner Shirtley.
Here.
Mayor Collins.
Here.
And for the record, Commissioner Reed is excused.
Correct. Welcome and thank you for participating in the City of Helena City Commission Administrative Meeting. We are pleased to be able to provide this alternative meeting format in the city's effort to broaden public participation. Please be patient as we may experience technical difficulties during the meeting. We welcome your public commentary. Please read the following tips and guidelines for the app usage and your participation. Commissioners, comments, questions? Board appointments. I'm recommending the following board appointment. ADA Compliance Committee, reappointment of Jacob Krasovic to the first full term on the ADA Compliance Board as representative of the disabled community. First term will expire September 1st, 2027. Business Improvement District, I'm recommending appointment of Robin Lund to a first term on the Business Improvement District. Term will expire October 31st, 2027. Citizens Conservation Board, appointment of Lexi Lard to an interim term on the Citizen Conservation Board. Term will expire February 28, 2027. Helena Public Arts, reappointment of Amanda Reese to a second term on the Helena Public Arts Committee. Term will expire December 31st, 2027. City Planning Commission, appointment of Maddie Petrosky to an interim term on the City Planning Commission. Interim term will expire May 17, 2026. Tourism BID, appointment of Matthew Uhas to an interim term on the Tourism BID. Interim term will expire June 30th, 2027. Any comments or questions from the commission? Do we have any public comments on this topic? Right. Recommendations from Helena Citizens Council, Representative Denise Barber, you have the floor.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Great. Thank you. I'm Denise Rothbarber. I'm representing the HCC this evening. We basically we're getting ready for 2025, and that means first we are going to be electing officers in January for the coming year. We're also, we intend to have new speakers at our meetings throughout the year, as always. And then HCC would also like to have another open house in 2025, like we did before this fall with Helena Forward. And we do not have a December meeting, but we just wanted to wish everyone happy holidays. And that's it.
Thank you. Comments or questions from the commission? No. Thank you, Ms. Barber.
All right, thank you.
City Manager report.
The commissioners have nothing to report.
All right. City County Board of Health update. Ms. Newman, you have the floor. 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Commissioners, I know that you've been waiting for this all day and you've been so excited to hear from me. So I'll take my 3 minutes in full.
No, I'm joking.
There are a few items that I wanted to bring to commissioners' attention because they're ripe and things are happening right now. And so the first is our licensed establishment fee proposal. So licensed establishment fees are set in statute. So those can only be changed by legislative action. And they have not been changed since 2009. And they have not, of course, kept up with inflation and things like that. They're also the fees are only amounting to a small portion of what it takes to run our licensed establishment program. And so our licensed establishment program is responsible for going out and inspecting all of our restaurants, pools and spas, public accommodations, and our trailer parks. Big job. And in the Lewis and Clark County, we have 700 in total or so of these facilities that we're responsible for, with a very small team of staff. We have one supervisor and 3 staff members who do all of that work within the year. When we break down the budget, about 75% of what it takes to run the program comes from our local tax dollars, and only about 18% of it comes from the fees collected from those business operators. Those business operators are required to have a license, and they're required to pay the fee. The fee flows to the state of Montana first, and the state keeps a small portion to run the program at the state level. The rest comes to us at the local level. So we make it work, and we do the work because it's a required part of what public health does, very important part of what public health does. But what we're looking for is a proposal that would help balance that out a little bit. And so what you see on page 2 of your handout is the proposed fee changes that we're looking at. We are working right now with our state association, the Confluence Public Health Alliance, a lobbyist, and then we'll have some identified legislators that will sponsor the bill and run it through the process during the legislative session. We are holding public meetings in our community to hear from our operators and get feedback, get suggestions, and so forth. And we've had 2 of those. The first in-person session resulted in just a couple of folks showing up. We had great conversation, good questions asked. The second one was virtual only, and nobody showed up. And so the third is next week. It's December 12th at 9 a.m. It is virtual only. The link is on our website. And we're hoping if folks want to participate in a conversation, give some feedback, ask some questions, that they'll take advantage of that. We're hoping to use that as an opportunity to really prep the community for action that will be taken during the legislative session. So I'll pause there and see if commissioners have any questions about the fee proposal that we're working in tandem, of course, across the state of Montana. This is not Lewis and Clark alone. It's not Lewis and Clark Public Health taking the lead, but we have been participating in the efforts over the last several months to get the proposal ready.
A couple questions. First one, I can't think of really any other fees that are collected at the local level, go to the state, and then come back. You know of any others? That just seems so backwards.
Yeah, I don't know of any others. I do know that the licensed establishment fees being in statute is very unique. Most fees are set in administrative rule, and departments handle the adjusting of those fees along the way. These fees are in statute, which means they don't get touched unless legislators open it up and discuss it and draft a bill. As far as fees that flow through the state does have a program that they do provide the technical assistance and oversight at the state level, and they keep a small amount. Most of it does come to the local level for our programming. But
so I mean, another solution is just take it out of MCA and put it in our.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was discussed, and that actually did occur several sessions ago, where that was the decision that was made, and it went into the Department of Public Health and Human Services to at their discretion adjust the fees. Yeah. And the very next session they were put back into statute again. So.
My other question was, do you know if the Confluence Public Health Alliance is in touch with the league or MACO?
Yes, MACO has been involved in conversations now for several months and have put this on their priority list for the legislative session. There have been really great conversations with MACO, and they are in support and have been partnering with us along the way. The Restaurant Association has been involved with the conversations as well. And the league has been briefed. Tim, you might know more about if they're active or if it's more passive at this point, but they've definitely been briefed.
Mayor, I think at this point they're passive, but that doesn't mean that we couldn't change that.
Yeah.
I think they're in a position where they want the counties to take the lead because it's a county-wide punishment. Yeah. But it certainly affects municipalities.
Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you very much for being here today. Wanted to ask real quick, what was the outreach and communications plan? It'll be interesting to see how folks respond to this, this 700 plus facilities. Wanted to see what the outreach plan was going to be.
We sent this proposal direct to every operator and invited them to participate in those communities discussions. And we got a handful of emails back from operators saying, thanks for the information, no questions, which was actually good news because one operator even said, seems reasonable.
Yeah.
So that's good feedback. That's actually feedback that we can take and use. The individuals who came to our first session had really good points to make and considerations for the statewide group to consider when it comes to the trailer park fees. Trailer parks, out of all of the work that we do, they receive the least amount of our attention.
Right.
The most attention actually goes to the restaurants as far as our time contribution is concerned. We also worked really hard to create a more equitable. You'll see on the handout in the box where there's two new retail food categories, a medium and an extra large has been added because all we have now is a small, which is one or two employees, and then a large is from 6 to 10. So, you know, an establishment with 3 employees was paying the same as a Costco, for example, for their fees. So we tried to make them equitable. So a smaller, locally owned is going to pay a different amount than a large Costco size that's going to take us much more time to do the inspection. So those are the types of conversations we've had with operators up to this point. And the outreach, to answer your question, the outreach we've had has been direct communication with the operators. We communicate with them through email directly.
Yes, thank you.
Any other comments from the commission? Oh, I'm sorry.
If there are no more questions on the licensed establishment fee proposal, I wanted to just bring your attention to the Behavioral Health Pathways newsletter. This only comes out a couple times a year now. And so this data is reflective of our July 2023 through June 2024, but it does represent behavioral health services that are being provided in our community through the mobile crisis response team. And then also the 988, those numbers are at the bottom of your handout. The 988 call center, this is our the new crisis lifeline, where we're looking at 619 calls that were specific to behavioral health, and 505 of those were de-escalated over the phone. So those are good numbers. That's what we like to see. What we want to create in our community is a place to call first, and if it can be just de-escalated by calling the 988, that we leave the need for law enforcement to respond or for other behavioral health crisis services to engage. If it can't be de-escalated using the call line, then that's when the mobile crisis team can go out to the location where the crisis is occurring in partnership with our law enforcement partners. And if it can't be de-escalated with that service, then at this point, we still only have the emergency room and the detention center. The journey home is in the works. We should see that open. It was supposed to be by the end of this calendar year. My guess is it's going to be after the start of the new year that we'll see the journey home reopen. Many Rivers Whole Health is the service provider, and they're working diligently to get that service back open again. Any questions on behavioral health?
What were some of the other calls?
some of the other calls are individuals looking for resources or things other than behavioral health. So of the 1,367 calls that came in, 619 were really coded for behavioral health crisis. So that call line is used for other things as well.
Any other comments from the commission? Are you done this evening?
And then just the respiratory illness numbers are in front of you there. We did a number of offsite clinics across the county. A total of 789 vaccines have been done in the last several months. And that's great. We've been able to get out. We've been able to get vaccines distributed in our community. And then as far as our case report numbers, we're looking at 174 COVID cases right now and 13 cases of influenza, which is about normal. So nothing out of the ordinary for respiratory season for the county.
Commissioners? Good. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it. All right. Is there anyone from the public wishes to address the commission? Madam Clerk, do we have any online?
Mr. Mayor, I have no public comment online.
Andrew Burton, do you have your direction?
I do, Mayor, thank you.
Any final comments from the commission? Chief? The meeting is adjourned.